I'm in the village of Chepachet, part of the town of Gloucester. Tucked away in the northwestern part of Rhode Island, this area is full of history. The Dorr Rebellion helped lead to expanded voting rights in the state. It started here. The author H.P. Lovecraft, a fellow Rhode Islander, found inspiration in this area. And then there's the Ancients and Horribles parade on the 4th of July. You've never seen or will ever see a parade quite like it. But today, we're talking to Marie Sweet about a very special animal in the hearts of Gloucesterites. In getting ready for the show, we had looked at a couple of different stories, one of which was about this elephant. And I thought it unique, different, great story. Not so great for the elephant, but...
That's correct.
But tell me about this. This is just one of those weird, quirky, only in Gloucester type stories.
It is only in Gloucester that the elephant known as Little Bet was shot May 25th, 1826.
Little Bet, also known as Betty the Learned Elephant, was the second Indian elephant purchased by Hacaliah Bailey. Betty and her predecessor were among the first pachyderms to touch U.S. soil. But like Betty, Hacaliah's first elephant faced a tragic death in Alfred, Maine.
On a Sunday, crossing a very religious fanatic's farmer's land, he felt a sin was being committed by this elephant crossing his land. So Hacaliah Bailey actually had...
You're saying his name, by the way, because I'm so sure Often traveling at night so as not to be seen, Hacaliah and his burgeoning circus would charge audiences 25 cents to be in the presence of his exotic creatures. This, of course, was Bailey, Barnum and Bailey.
Yes, correct. They would travel up and down the East Coast during the summer months with a caretaker. And that's when 1822 was the first time Betty the elephant came to Chepachet without incident.
The grounds that showcase Betty are where the town pavilion now stands, and the animals were stored in an open field to the north on Route 44. Little Bet was in Gloucester for just a few days as part of the traveling show.
And they would just travel the roads down as far as we know, South Carolina. And then they headed back to their winter quarters, which was up in New York. So to have a 6,000-pound elephant in your view, it's like, that had to be amazing. But I mean, they were fascinated by her because she came back every year until 1826.
So let's talk about that out on the grassy knoll. What happened? What transpired so that this poor animal...
She was heading with her caretaker and some people that were accompanying her as fans out of town. She was leaving town, going to her next venue. And Chepachet Bridge is right to the left of us from where we're talking. And as she was crossing that bridge, 6 men were hidden in the gristmill. There was a gristmill there at the time. And they were hidden on the second floor, and they just waited till the coast was clear, and 7 shots were fired, and Little Bet was dead at the end of it.
Jeez. So it was a planned attack.
It was planned. We don't know why.
To this day?
To this day, we don't know why. But a man named Jed Sprague was in the second floor window of the Town Trader, which is right across from where the elephant was shot, where the gristmill was. And he viewed it and was able to identify some of the men. So they were tracked down. But they weren't from Gloucester. They were from out of town.
According to Judge Branch's court records from the trial, there was speculation the men didn't think a bullet could go through Betty's hide, or that she could be killed altogether. There was also conjecture that revenge had something to do with it, since some of the men might not have been admitted to see her for lack of funds. The mystique of this incident, how did that come to be a thing? How did the town then adopt this animal and make her a part of the fabric of the culture here?
Edna Kent, who is the town historian, her family became interested in this whole incident. It was really, the townspeople at the time and the Kent family that kind of propagated the whole mystique of Betty the Learned Elephant.
Because Bailey's two elephants had both met violent ends, there was some good that indirectly came out of incidents like these.
Well, I think one of the lessons learned by the traveling shows was we got to group together. Back in the 1800s, there was no SPCA or PETA or animals rights groups or, any of the agencies that you have now. So they've developed as a result of incidents like this.
And as for Betty's place in the history books?
It's not something taught in school. but by the Heritage Society putting together tours, historic tours, where Betty's included in it, the story goes on. She won't be forgotten because elephants never forget.